The Torenzo Passport Mystery, the woman who vanished from JFK. In October of 2025, the morning rush at New York's JFK International Airport was just like any other. Travelers hurried to their gates, families reunited, and the distant crackle of intercom announcements filled the air. It was ordinary routine, but for a few customs officers working the international terminal that morning, what began as an ordinary day would soon spiral into one of the strangest mysteries in modern U.S. history. Around 9:30 a.m., a woman stepped up to the customs counter. She looked composed, maybe in her mid-30s, stylish but modest, with the kind of quiet confidence common among frequent travelers. She handed over her passport with a polite smile. The officer flipped it open and froze. The passport wasn't from any country he recognized. Its navy blue cover bore the emblem of something called the Torenzo Republic. The crest shimmered under the light, a golden circle with an unfamiliar symbol in its center, intricate, official-looking, and completely foreign. The officer ran the passport's barcode through his system. Nothing. He tried again. Still nothing. He searched manually for the country name Torenzo, but the database returned no results. No country code, no region, no history. Nothing. At first, he assumed it was a clever fake. But the more he looked, the more it didn't seem fake. The paper quality matched genuine government standards, the lamination was perfect, and the microchip embedded inside responded to the scanner. Everything about it screamed authentic except for one problem. No such nation existed. When questioned, the woman seemed calm, almost serene. She introduced herself as Elena Voss, a consultant traveling to New York for a business meeting. When asked where Torenzo was located, she replied with confidence, between France and Andorra. The officer frowned. There was nothing between those two countries but mountains. He pulled up a map and asked her to point. She placed her finger on a blank patch of land in the Pyrenees, no borders, no cities, just white space. Her tone was casual, her expression relaxed, as though she truly believed what she was saying. Within minutes, the situation escalated. Supervisors were called, then security. By 10 a.m., Elena was escorted to a secondary screening room for further questioning. Inside, she was cooperative, not defensive, not panicked. She answered every question calmly. Her accent was neutral, somewhere between European and American, but not distinct. She said she had arrived on a flight from Venice City Airport, Torenzo's capital. The agents searched for that flight number in the international system. No record, no airline, no city. Her passport was filled with stamps from other unfamiliar places. Lisbon Republic, Port Venera, Pernath Port Authority. Each one looked legitimate, dated, signed, and even included holographic seals. The agents contacted the Department of Homeland Security, then the FBI. No one could explain how a traveler carrying a valid-looking passport from a non-existent country had passed through multiple layers of airport security. By midday, Elena was moved to a private security office. Her luggage was searched, no weapons, no contraband, just ordinary travel items, clothes, toiletries, and a laptop that refused to power on. The clothing labels were printed in an unknown language that resembled a blend of Italian and Catalan. Her wallet contained neatly folded bills, crisp and new, each one bearing the same golden T insignia as her passport. The currency was made of polymer, like modern euro notes, but no one had ever seen it before. Agents ran her fingerprints. No match. They scanned her face through every major database, the FBI, Interpol, Customs and Border Protection, even the CIA's facial archives. Nothing. To every system on Earth, Elena Voss did not exist. As the hours passed, tension built. Homeland Security analysts dissected her passport microchip. It contained encrypted data, a string of coordinates that pointed to an empty stretch of ocean south of France. A location with no islands, no structures, no activity. Just water. When investigators confronted Elena with this, she didn't argue. She simply said, "That's home." Her voice was soft, too calm, too certain, and that calmness unnerved everyone in the room. She was asked for proof of citizenship. She showed them a printed itinerary for a return flight to Venice City. The paper bore the logo of an airline no one had ever heard of, Transcontinental Europa. The ticketing code was formatted exactly like real ones, but no such airline existed in any aviation database. The agents began to wonder if this was an elaborate hoax, maybe a test of airport security. But her behavior didn't fit the pattern of a prankster or spy. She didn't demand anything. She didn't ask for a lawyer. She just sat there, hands folded neatly, waiting. At 8:17 that evening, everything changed. Surveillance footage later revealed that the security camera inside her holding room glitched for exactly 3 minutes and 12 seconds. When the feed came back online, the room was empty. No Elena. No movement. The door never opened. Her belongings were still there, her suitcase, her clothes, her passport. But she was gone. Agents rushed in, searched every hallway, every elevator, every exit gate. No trace. JFK went into partial lockdown. Airport police scoured the facility, but there was nothing, as if she had simply ceased to exist. The passport left behind had changed. The hologram that once glimmered across the front was gone. The lettering had faded, leaving only a faint outline of the word Torenzo. When technicians examined the chip again, it was burned out, the data corrupted, unreadable. Within hours, the passport itself began to deteriorate, its pages turning brittle, the ink smearing as if the document were decades old. The next morning, federal authorities sealed off the entire file. The case was classified and removed from public record. Every officer involved signed confidentiality agreements. The CCTV footage was confiscated. Officially, the event never happened, but unofficially, whispers spread. Airport staff talked quietly about the woman from nowhere. A janitor later claimed he'd seen her reflection in a window after she disappeared, a glimpse of her face, fading like static. No one could confirm it, but the rumor persisted. Weeks later, strange details began to surface. At the exact time the cameras at JFK glitched, airports in Chicago, Atlanta, and Dallas reported minor network errors, all lasting around 3 minutes. No explanation, no link, just an eerie coincidence. Behind closed doors, analysts reviewed the chemical composition of her passport's materials. The ink contained isotopes that didn't match any known sample on Earth, metallic yet organic, behaving as if it was alive. When these findings reached Washington, the entire report was immediately classified. Within a month, even internal database references to Torenzo vanished for federal systems. It was as if the event had been erased from history. But it didn't stop there. In December 2025, a post appeared briefly on an obscure dark web forum. It contained a single image of a blue passport stamped with a golden T. The date on the stamp read, December 12th, 2025, Tokyo International Airport. Within minutes, the image disappeared, the account deleted, and the entire post scrubbed from the site. No trace remained. Some believe the Torenzo passport was an elaborate government experiment, a test of identity fabrication technology. Others claim Elena Voss was an operative from an alternate timeline, one where Torenzo was real and that her crossing into this world triggered a digital and physical anomaly. A few say she was never human at all, but one detail keeps resurfacing. In each report, the encounter lasts only hours. Then the traveler disappears. A nation that no one can find, belonging to a woman that no one can trace. And perhaps that's exactly how she wanted it.